Tell me about Vanity. Vanessa and Charity. You've got your own name now. Yeah, I know, it's good.
Yeah, Charity just has kind of fallen in love with a woman.
Yeah. She seems really happy.
Yeah, it's good. It works. I don't know if she'd ever go back to being with a man. I guess she probably could because she could do anything.
Indeed.
But it's working for now, and Michelle and I have good camaraderie and... Yeah, it's just so different. And the random script that we got where they kiss in the cellar, Michelle said, you know, we're getting off with each other in the cellar next block. And I was like, what? Are you kidding? And I couldn't get my head... And I was like, what? And then we were dressed like Batman and Robin. I mean, well, I had a power suit on and she had the mask.
It was very funny.
And I said, well, if I flick the mask and make it a bit more humorous, we might get away with it.
Yeah, it was funny.
You have to commit to these things, you know. And then suddenly the feedback again with that was
good. I'm really glad you got good, positive feedback.
Yeah, well, usually I just get, oh, you're a rumman, you, in the supermarket, you know, oh, or people write and go, oh, this Charity, it's too far-fetched. And then to be given some real, you know, something with gravity.
It's like she's found her soulmate, I think, in a way.
Potentially,
yeah. I hope so. So what can we expect from these two? Are they ever actually going to see eye to eye? Because that was interesting with that scene that we saw. Yeah. It was kind of like, you could see the intention he wanted to hurt him, but then didn't. I think
so like sort of, I think when you're in that moment and there's so much adrenaline going through you. Oh, yeah. oh yeah.
That was very close. That was too close.
That was good, I think like when there's so much adrenaline going through you, I don't think you know what you wanted to do. So I don't think I wasn't necessarily saying I wanted to kill him or I didn't want to kill him.
Yeah.
I think it was just
you just don't know.
I didn't know what I wanted to do. But hopefully one day we can sort of rekindle our relationship. Maybe.
It's so interesting because obviously both get the same mum, different dads, and there is this real kind of vying for mum's love. I think here at the heart of it all. It's very interesting. Yeah,
I think on Ellis's part, it's just a little bit of jealousy because obviously he created a relationship with April as well, which was sort of like his little sister to him. And then I just don't think he wanted Billy to come in and sort of like fracture that whole sort of dynamic of it. So like, I think that was Ellis's biggest fear. So now he's obviously come into it. He just doesn't want that whole thing to be destroyed.
Yesterday, I bumped into Judge Rinder, who is always the life and soul of every party he goes to. He's your best pal.
He is my best pal.
And he actually introduced you to your husband. How did that happen?
He did. I owe him an awful lot in my life. I was introduced to Rob when I was working on Judge John Deed, because I needed to shadow a barrister. I didn't really know what they did.
Yeah.
So, in fact, I was introduced to Rob by Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, nice.
Just to name drop someone else.
Absolutely. Why not? It's a good one.
Might have heard of him. So Ben and I were working together on a play, and Ben said, oh, you must meet my friend Rob, because they were at university together.
Right.
He's a fantastic criminal barrister, and you can shadow him for a bit. So I shadowed Rob and went down to the cells with him, met all these extraordinary people that Rob was defending, and since then, I kept him close by.
And he introduced you to your hubby as well?
So my husband...
He's a matchmaker.
He's an amazing matchmaker.
He's a fantastic matchmaker.
Absolutely.
You've been out of Emmerdale now for a couple of years, Calvin, and obviously people will always associate you with that role because you were there for such a long time. Yeah. But it does sort of look like the door, well, it was left open, and it looks like it could be opening further for you because from your character perspective, you were cleared of the murder that we thought you could have been wrapped up in. Would there be a chance of you maybe going back at this stage? Would it be something on the cards at some point that you'd sort of like to revisit? Yeah,
I get asked this question all the time. It'll have been nearly 3 years I'll have left, you know, coming up this year. And, you know, the answer's kind of still the same. It's a terrific show. Coincidentally, it started winning awards since I left, you know, so maybe it's a good thing that I don't go back. Because since I've been gone, it's just gone from strength to strength, you know. It's a fantastic show and richly deserve the awards that they're receiving now, but for me, you know, I've very much moved on and I want to pursue other things. And
because you could, of course, go back as a very authentic farmer.
I guess, yeah, I'd be certainly, you know, better equipped. So if I did go back in the future, who knows? But I think for me and what I want to do at the minute, you know, Emmerdale is something that I've already experienced.
I mean, your character has had incredible storylines, actually, for the time that you've been there. And you've been really lucky, I suppose, because you've got to sort of dip your toes into really quite, you know, serious, dark storylines, which I guess as an actor, it's all you could ask for.
Oh, God, absolutely. And being in such an amazing drama as Emmerdale, they write so well. And I have been so busy in the years that I've been there. And I've had, you know, sort of fun storylines to more serious storylines, and also being part of, you know, this ultimately sort of coming into other people's storylines and being a part of that, and this big long thread as well. It's been incredible. So I feel very blessed.
Now, we do have to remember you, of course, have a life away from Emmerdale. So I have to say congratulations, because you just got engaged. And your beautiful ring sparkling away in the lights. And your lovely now fiancé, which is the word you'll have to get used to saying.
Yes.
Simon Cotton, who I have got to say, I heard about this proposal this morning and thought, he is a keeper.
He is incredible.
What can you tell us without, you know, potentially giving everything
I don't think we've got long enough for me to go into the proposal. It was so long and so epic, and every time anyone asks me, I'm like, we're going to need to do this over lunch or coffee. No, he's incredible. He's incredibly romantic and thoughtful. I mean, I could go on. He's amazing. So yes, it was, but basically it was a sequence of clues and involving my best friends and my mother, and ultimately sort of taking me sort of to a beautiful hotel in London, and it was all clues. And then actually he took me back home to my family home to remember my dad who'd passed away, because that's where my special place is. And it was candles and flowers, and then Paris the next day for the week. So yeah, he was incredible.
Oh my goodness, if anybody out there is about to propose, they're thinking, oh no.
I know.
Now, there's been a lot of attention on you because you've come in as the, you know, in the gorgeous boy and all of that. Yeah, I know you're going to eek. And there's been a lot of like topless shots and things like that.
There has been.
On chaps. I mean, it's fine.
There it is.
We heartily approve. It's absolutely fine. Do you think, though, there is pressure on you to look a certain way? Do you have to really, really work hard?
I think it more comes from...
Are you just lucky?
I like being healthy. I think I've always enjoyed exercise, and I've always enjoyed the gym, and I've always enjoyed pushing myself to like physical peaks and trying to... Just trying to stay healthy, I think. And I think, especially when you are doing something on television,
when you're just wearing a towel.
Yeah, you try and get a few push-ups in before you go and say,
I can imagine. I can imagine, though, it's quite difficult.
A little bit weird.
A wee bit. What sort of reaction has your character been getting, generally from the public, when you're out and about, or letters or emails or whatever?
Luckily, it's been quite nice.
Good.
I was because I remember I spoke to Jeff Hordley when I first started, and he was saying, you know, be careful about going out in public too much.
Yeah.
If you play a baddie, if you play someone
Sure. This is Kane, of course, huh? The ultimate baddie.
Yeah, and he did say that when he first started, or possibly sometimes, he did get a bit of aggro from people on the streets, so maybe avoid certain bars. But luckily, people have.
But it's been okay, and you've described it as your dream job. You know, it's something you've always wanted to do.
I've only been doing it for a couple of years. So I think for anyone who comes out of drama school, you're faced with the idea that it could be a very long time till you're in any type of prolonged employment. So to have landed a job which has kept me employed for longer than a week is a dream job. Yeah, I mean, and the fact that it's Emmerdale, the fact that everyone there is bloody lovely.
Yeah.
Just makes it all the more great.
I know that it is a great set to work on. I know that. I mean, we did a visit up there, and it was a delight. Everybody was just so incredibly
also friendly.
Yeah. People have fallen victim to this, sadly.
Yeah.
And you've got to get it right.
We have to tell as realistic a story as possible, and I think we are doing it.
Very much so. Last night was so sad. He thought that horrible girl, if you didn't watch it, why not? But you should have been. But this horrible girl at the bar sort of comes in, and he thinks that she's chatting him up, and she's done it for a bet.
It was a dirty trick, and
horrible.
It did his self-esteem and confidence no good. And that's the reality of what these poor, unfortunate people do go through.
Oh, it's hideous, because you can see that with the character. His confidence is absolutely on the floor.
Yeah, and especially it's such a journey, because he was someone who was so almost arrogant with his looks, and he was so confident with ladies, and now that's completely diminished.
And that's when, of course, he doesn't know what really happened.
No.
When he finds out about that, about who was behind that, the women that he loved.
If he finds out, and, you know, that's one thing that's really torturing him at the moment. He doesn't know why this has happened to him. And we have based it on a real-life story as well, or loosely based it around a real-life story.
Of course, that makes sense. What sort of reaction have you had, you know, when you're out and about and people talking to you, or letters, emails, all of that?
I think at first people thought it was quite graphic and maybe a little bit too much for 7 o'clock. But then after the first episode aired and we went to the second one, people saw that we were showing how to deal with this, you know, the actions the steps that you need to take to help somebody who's been through it, and then it definitely calmed down a lot. And I think people are starting to see that we're telling much more like the psychological aspect of it.
It's tortured, isn't it? But how has it been for you playing these scenes? Because you wanted to do a really, really, really strong storyline, didn't you?
I actually asked for a story that had never been done before in soap.
Which is tough, actually.
Which is, I always say,
Really?
the hardest job for anybody in soap is it comes down to the writers and the storyliners to think of something that's never been done.
Sure.
And our producer, Ian, he pitched this to me, and when he told me the way we were going to do it and how tastefully we were going to try and tell a realistic story, I was in.